Hi, Sarah Mack here from withsarahmack.com, and I have a compassionate yet motivating kick in the butt for you today on how to nip overwhelm in the butt and feel better, create different results. And this was just a message that just came through to me. You can check out more of my stuff at withsarahmack.com. I do have a new website coming with lots of awesome stuff to support you with your messaging, selling more, having more creative freedom, and earning more money from your passion work. So that's something to look forward to. And so this is a question, I have been going through lots of overwhelm. I'm pretty good at not being overwhelmed, but the last few weeks have been kicking me in the butt. And I wanted to share with you the process that I use to put myself back on top every single time, no matter what. Just keep going because that's all we can do, right? So, this is for you if you want something about your current story or situation to be different. And I ask myself in those moments where I feel like I'm suffering, or I feel like it's hard, or I feel like I'm a victim of my circumstances, I get to ask myself, what am I allowing right now? How or where am I giving my power away? And am I allowing situations to take me down? And then what is a different path that I get to choose? Because we always get to choose a different path. We always have that power, right? Beginning with our internal conversation. And that's where it starts. And it's not about pushing, it's not about denying, it's not about ignoring or burying. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's about compassion and it's about listening, because that's how we create true change. That's how we harvest the lessons and we experience the growth that the challenge is bringing us. So the way that I start is by listening to my desires, honoring my desires, and our emotions are a signpost for my desires, so I get to listen to them, even when they're really uncomfortable. And from that place, I get to choose an empowering inner dialogue, and I allow that to dictate a different action, because we always get to choose how to respond. And when we're experiencing those big emotions, it's just a really loud signpost to change, to listen, to surface something that we haven't been looking at, and to honor ourselves by listening to it and taking action accordingly. So if we want to have different results, then we have to make a change. The change always comes from that internal listening. So for example, when I was working as a freelance copywriter, I wanted to make more money and I wanted to spend less hours writing for other people, have more freedom, time freedom for my creative projects, more energy, reduce my working hours. So I acknowledged that desire and I started to take different actions, raising my prices, packaging and marketing my services differently. I shifted my sales process. I was having different types of conversations with different types of people. From shifting my client relationships, the types of people that I was working with, the types of conversations that I was having with those people, and hiring different people to help me. And that was the thing that got me to the result: doubling my income, selling coaching packages, and phasing out the done for you copywriting services. So this is just a simple and clear example of how a desire led me to take different action, led me to create different circumstances in my life. And this can apply to any area of your life where you're feeling dissatisfied, right? Whether it's your relationship stuff that's coming up, whether it's your money, whether it's the type of work you're doing, the type of clients you're working with, how you are generating income and supporting yourself, wanting to get to the next level, all of it. So this is basically a condensed process to shift to better results in any area of your life. Number one, face up to the facts. What is not working? What are you dissatisfied with right now? What is causing you pain right now? And then from there, we get to ask what is or is not currently happening. That's creating that dissonance. Do your actions back your stated desires? Or is it all talk or wishful thinking? And we get to do this from a place of compassion, right? Not judgment, not shaming and not blaming, because that just sends us deeper down the hole, but with compassion and honesty. And just notice what's popping to mind for you right now, because your intuition will always guide you to that place that needs looking at, that when you do, and you unknot it a little bit and you shift it a little bit and you really pay attention to it and you nurture it from loving and compassionate place, then it's going to shift and you're going to suddenly have so much more energy freed up to be taking different action, to be having different conversations. And that's everything, right? That's the thing that creates the different results. So number one, face up to the facts. Number two, different results require different action. It's that simple. What different actions that I haven't been taking up until this point am I being called to take? And then number three, different actions require different thoughts and different conversations. So step three actually becomes kind of like working backwards in order to be taking the different action. But first of all, we identify what that action is. Then we get to identify why, not looking for why it's not happening, but acknowledging the stories that we're telling ourselves and the conversations that we're not having that are preventing us from taking those actions. And that begins internally with the internal conversation that we're having with ourselves about what we believe we're capable of, what we believe we deserve, and what we're willing to do in order to create that change. And then that will have a ripple effect in the way that you're communicating with the people around you in your family, community, clients, everybody in your work and your business. So it's really about shifting who we are, shifting the way that we're showing up so that we can create the different results that we desire. So really it's about taking full 100% responsibility for the results that we desire to create, taking 100% responsibility for the results that we're currently creating, because whatever it is that we're currently creating, the level of dissatisfaction, disempowerment, unsupportive inner conversations, they get to shift with compassion, without judgment, blaming, or shaming, to, what am I really capable of if I actually give myself permission to step out and do things differently, and to have the courage to communicate differently to myself and to everybody else in my community, that opens up space for those new actions to take place with more ease, which is a boundaries conversation, which is a big one that I go into in depth with my clients. So that's the message that I wanted to share with you today. I do still have availability in my 6-week one-on-one coaching program to help you get really clear on what those next level actions are, and to create the inner dialogue, the inner, environment that enables you to make those actions and those changes with support, with ease, really supporting yourself so it's fun and exciting, and fueling it with your passion, fueling it with your desire rather than a push. Rather than, feeling guilty and like getting stuck around or like hiding. Most of the time we just hide, right? Because acknowledging our desires takes courage, taking action on them takes even more courage. And that's when all of those limiting stories and beliefs are going to come to the surface to sift through, to shift, to transform, to open you up to become the person that is able to realize those desires. So if that's resonating with you, send me a DM, let's have a conversation, and let me know what comes up for you in this conversation. I hope this has served and supported you today. Thank you so much for watching, sending you so much love. Bye.